I imagine waking up one morning and realizing that you no longer need to hold your breath when you dive. Your lungs work both in the air and in the sea, filtering oxygen directly from water, like the gills of a fish. Humanity has just become amphibious. At first, the change feels like a miracle. Beaches fill with people who no longer fear drowning. Children dive into oceans without hesitation, laughing as they chase schools of fish-like playground games. Tourists abandon hotels and instead swim straight into coral reefs, wandering among turtles and manta rays as if exploring a living city. But the consequences of this gift go far deeper than vacation joy. Entire civilizations would begin to shift. Suddenly, 70% of Earth's surface, once unreachable, becomes habitable. Cities might not expand upward anymore, but downward into the oceans. Transparent domes of glass and steel could anchor to the seafloor, filled with glowing gardens of seaweed that supply oxygen and food. People would farm kelp as easily as wheat, harvest fish without ships, and use the ocean's endless space to relieve overcrowded land. Yet underwater life would come with challenges. The ocean is not a peaceful paradise. It is a world of pressure, cold, and predators. Humans would adapt by developing technology suited for this new dual existence. Suits would protect against the crushing weight of the deep. Light beacons would cut through the eternal darkness of abyssal plains. Currents would become highways, carrying swimmers across continents without fuel. Trade routes might shift to undersea tunnels, where humans glide like dolphins alongside their goods. Culture itself would transform. Mythology would be reborn, but this time not as fantasy. Mermaids, sea serpents, and lost kingdoms would feel closer than ever. Music might echo differently underwater, with deep resonating hums replacing drums and strings. Imagine concerts where singers harmonize in the blue depths, their voices carried for kilometers by water's density. Even sports would change. Underwater races, three-dimensional ball games, or battles of endurance against whirlpools. But as humanity descends, so too does its conflict. Nations would no longer fight for deserts or forests alone. They would fight for the sea. Oil fields on the continental shelf, minerals hidden in trenches, and fishing rights would all spark tension. Naval fleets could become obsolete when millions of civilians themselves can dive and sabotage pipelines, cables, or submarines. The ocean might be our greatest gift and greatest battlefield. Nature itself would also feel our presence. Coral reefs, already fragile, might collapse under the weight of cities. Whales could be disturbed by constant human neighbors. Sharks, once feared, might now become endangered from overhunting. Humanity's history of exploiting land would risk repeating in the sea unless balance was found. And then comes the biggest question: how far could we go? Breathing underwater is not just survival. It's freedom to explore worlds once thought alien. The Mariana Trench, deeper than Mount Everest, is tall, would no longer be unreachable. Entire ecosystems, glowing with bioluminescent creatures, would open to human eyes. Perhaps we would meet forms of life still unknown, strange beings thriving in volcanic vents or icy abyss. Some scientists even speculate that if we master living underwater on Earth, it would prepare us for colonizing oceans on other worlds like Europa or Enceladus. Life on land would never disappear, of course. We would remain children of the surface, but now, with a dual identity. Homes might exist half on the beach, half submerged. Families could have one parent working in an office and the other farming kelp under the waves. Children would grow up not learning to swim, but learning to balance two realms as naturally as walking. So, could humans survive underwater? Not just survive, we could thrive. But as with every power, it would come with responsibility. The ocean is vast but fragile, beautiful but unforgiving. To breathe underwater would mean gaining a new world, but also carrying the weight of protecting it. For humanity, it would be the ultimate test, not whether we could live in the sea, but whether we could live there without destroying it.